Hey everybody! Today we're going to be making some washi tape, or stuff that looks like washi tape. Here's some ones that I did previously. So what you're going to need is sticky paper, or the like label paper, or wax paper. I don't know exactly what you call it. Bookbinding tape or masking tape, that would work fine. Paint, paintbrush, acrylic, pens, whatever you want. First thing you're going to do is you're going to take your tape. I use 1 inch. You could also use a 1/2 inch. I like the 1 inch because I use mine on the bottom or on the sides of papers to bind them. You'll see it later in the video. So you're literally going to just start lining them just like that with a little bit of space in between. After you get done painting these, you're going to go back and cut in between the lines. So again, I'm using the 1 inch tape. Sometimes my brain doesn't work. Haha. And the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to really just start making a mess. You're going to take your paint, you're going to splatter it. Yeah, don't forget to mix it. You're going to go ahead and splatter it kind of all over the place, dot it up. You could leave it just like that. Here I am making a base coat. I like to do the lighter colors on the bottom. They stick out better in my perspective. And you're just going to start swiping. Go, go, go. Paint, paint, paint. Get that base coat down. Don't worry if it goes in between the pages. Now sometimes this tape does come off the sticky paper. Don't worry about it. Just keep painting. It'll be fine. But yeah, just get a really, really good coat underneath. It doesn't have to be perfect. Another good tip, make sure you get your ends really, really well. I often forget that and I lose a lot of the tape, when I'm doing this, and I have to throw it away because there's no paint on it. So just make sure you get those paint ends right there. And then when you're done, feel free to take another color and put it on top. Now, I don't wash my brush out. It's called dry brushing, so I try to get all of the paint off of my brush before I start the next color. And then I just dab it in there. Literally, we're making a mess. There's no rhyme or reason or making a pattern. What you're going to realize is once they're all cut, every one of them has its own beautiful design. So put that paint on there, go all over the place with it, as you can see that I'm doing right here. So I'm adding the purple, using a different technique, doing more spots. Yeah, it's just kind of fun. You can do all of them. Another recommendation is make sure you do multiple ones of these. I would line 3, 4 to 5 papers with the tape. That would last me quite a while. So because these are so quick to make, I would do kind of a whole bunch of them, which you'll see in this video I did. You can use other techniques, putting stencils on top. You could use pretty much anything to make your various designs. So here's an example of me using a stencil. A lot. I think I have to switch brushes here too. But yeah, there's a lot of different designs. You can also, I think later on I start flicking the paintbrush. So that's another technique that you can use as well. Yep, still using it. I hope you find this relaxing. Oh, how to switch brushes. And then finally here you can see that I am flicking the brush and getting spotches on it. That's another technique. There's lots of different things that you can do. Again, the point here is to not limit yourself. This isn't about being perfect. This is about making a mess. And the end result is going to be absolutely beautiful. Each one is going to be completely different. So here I'm using an acrylic pen that works just as well too, to add little details to it. Again, I recommend using multiple papers and doing lots of different ones so that you have a stash ready to go. This is for my springtime journals, so I'm going to be using lots of spring colors. So as you can see, there was a lot of orange on my paintbrush, and I put the pink on it, and it actually comes out to a beautiful, beautiful mixed color. I mean, the surprises that you get when you make a mess and the outcome of it is quite stunning. So I really, really enjoyed this color that came out. And then again, making dots, swiping, making different lines, different patterns and such. It's just a really fun way to make this washi-like tape. And last but not least, I make some more. As you can see, having to not have this prepped ahead of time kind of is a pain in the butt, but sometimes you don't know until you know, right? So here I am I'm using the 1/4 inch tape down at the bottom. I'm going to use that more for like decorative pieces inside my journal, but the big 1 inchers on top, I usually use to combine pages together, and I seam them up along the sides. So here's another example of kind of the same thing, spreading it out, making sure I get those edges, and then going to town on them with lots of different designs and such. So feel free to fast forward this video if you'd like to. At the end, you're going to see the results of these, and then what we do next. So if you have too much paint on there, feel free just to wipe it off with a paper towel or another piece of paper. If you do it with another piece of paper, you can add that to a journal or some sort of mixed media with it. And yeah, so there you go. I just added lots of different spots, and I'm just drawing lines through them to connect. When you leave a lot of dots and you don't paint them out, it takes a longer to dry, and they will dry in those little dots, and they're easy to pick off. So I definitely would paint them out. Just a recommendation, but of course do whatever you'd like to do, because this is your art project too. So yeah, I'm gonna leave these to dry, and then about the next day I went ahead and just cleaned them up, cut them. You're gonna see the frays on the end, so that would be step 1, get those frays off. And then when you're done getting those little doodaddies off, you can start cutting the strips out. And the best way to cut the strips out are just to go along that little seam that you've made. And yeah, that's basically how you do it. You'll see how I use them at the end of this video, but I stored these all in a drawer, and I use these when I start making my books or gluing in all the junk from my junk journal. It's a fun way to use the tape, to use my paints, and it's very inexpensive, which is awesome. So there you go. There's an example of what I've done. And here is my junk journal. I'm showing you one. There you go. So you can see how I put them on the sides of the papers to combine the two different papers together. So I hope this was helpful. Yep, there's another one. I appreciate you guys and can't wait to see what you do.